Welcome to episode 3 of the Kendi and Raybo podcast, recorded live in Kendi's box room.
Can I start this one?
Yeah, of course you can, boy.
Thanks.
Liberalism.
Are you sure now?
Yeah,
so what
but
do I
that's
say?
50-50, like.
Right, so I go like, welcome along to episode 3.
Yeah.
Right, okay, hold on now. Hello and welcome there to episode 3 of the Kendi and Raybo podcast. That was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good, yeah.
We'll start off with the beer.
Yeah.
Today will be
I'm a bit worried now that you've done that so well. People are going to be commenting in saying, I think Ray should be starting the podcast.
I didn't mean to put any shade on you or anything.
Well, whatever, like, I don't give a shit anyway. I didn't want to start it.
Yeah, but it's nice, like once in a while, let me do it.
I didn't want to start it anyway, Ray.
No, it's fine.
I didn't.
We'll move on to the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today I didn't go to Caltra Centra.
Oh, no.
I was afraid that after 2 rounds of the last 2 podcasts that I'll change it up.
Yeah.
So I went to the Texaco across from Sligo Park.
Oh, yeah.
Nice spot.
A beautiful deli.
I do a lot of my grocery shopping in there.
Do you?
Much to the disgust of Emer and my own mother.
They have a pharmacy as well, though. You
They
get
do, but I know, which is only so many times I can go to that pharmacy.
I know.
That's a different story. But obviously the food in there is significantly pricier than most bigger shops.
Is it?
It would be, yeah. Now, in fairness, like, what, a carton of orange juice is about €4. So
Squeeze stuff. Man, you want to be going into
no,
Aldi
not
and
the squeeze stuff. I don't get the squeeze stuff anymore. I'm on the Tropicana Smooth.
Ah, sure, that's even more again. And you wonder why you have no money every week.
And I used to like it with bits, but I don't like it with bits anymore.
You don't like the bits?
No.
I do enjoy the bits.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be buying Tropicana. Mother of God. Will you go into
that or
Aldi?
the innocent stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
no, well,
do.
in fairness, now in Aldi, they've good... Anyway, look, there's no point us
No.
debating over orange juice.
Let me just say, my mammy, when she goes into Lidl or Aldi, she brings home stuff, right?
Right.
And she does get me to test it out, right? And she always says, isn't it the very same as the real stuff? She'll bring home Jaffa cakes.
Would she tell you that there's a taste test going on, or would she just
No.
give you a scatter Jaffa cakes with a cup of tea
Yeah.
and go, well, how are you enjoying them? Like
Yeah.
pure snaky in the middle of it.
Yeah. And I'd go, yeah, it's nice, yeah. And she'll say, it's the very same, isn't it?
Yeah.
The biggest thing, she loves nothing more than getting stuff in Aldi that tastes the same as the real stuff.
And actually getting it.
It's like a win.
Is
It's
there
like
ever
a win.
anything now that hasn't been the same?
Well, I think there's loads of stuff in Aldi that's not quite the same.
Oh, no.
Doesn't
Yeah.
stop me shopping there.
Huh?
Doesn't stop me shopping there.
No,
all
in
the same.
fairness, no, it doesn't. The Jaffa cakes are better.
But Ray, do you know what it took you ages to come around to Aldi?
Oh, stop, yeah.
You used to shop in Duns. And you wonder why you had no money in your pocket then.
Tried
as well.
huge trust issues with going to them.
Yeah. But this is going back again to the fact that you're such a chronic creature of habit.
More than half the country would
Shop.
still have trouble shopping in Aldi or Lidl because they
come
look
around
at Rushkin's Jaffa cakes. Now that's probably not an actual brand, but
Yeah.
just for the sake of the Rushkin's, and they're used to Jacob's Jaffa cakes
or
McVitie's
or Bixies instead of
yeah
or wheat biscuits. Wheat biscuits instead of the Weetabix.
Sean
Wheat
O'Reilly's an awful
biscuits.
man for eating the Aldi Weetabix.
Yeah, but he does have a gorgeous big breakfast now.
Yeah, but
So-
but it's still the Wheat Bix or the Rice like I've tried the Rice Krispies. I've
Yeah.
tried them, but they are not
The same.
anywhere close to Snap, Crackle and Pop.
Cereals are not the same.
No.
The Cocoa Pops ain't the same either.
What's
or the
different?
Honey Loops.
Oh,
I don't know. I think it's something when it's stuff like that from your childhood. You just get used to the taste. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to change over.
It's very hard to change
I was
over.
a massive man for Start. Do you remember Start?
What Start?
Do you not have Start? No.
No.
Oh
Is it got a H in the name now when you pronounce it like that?
no, it's
Start.
START. Start.
Oh, Start.
That's how it's spelled. Like.
Yeah, right. What?
Did you
what
not
is-
have Start? No.
What is Start?
The Start was a cereal, but it was almost they'd make you think that it was pure healthy buzz. There was a fella cycling a bike in the front of it. I think he might have been in the Olympics.
Right.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
See, I was just used to a cock on the front of my box.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Kellogg's cornflakes.
Oh, I get
It's a
you
big
now.
cock on the front of it. I'd have Kellogg's cornflakes and Weetabix. And should Weetabix be mighty because there'd be more things given out in the Weetabix box than you'd ever get in anything else.
There was nothing given out in the Weetabix box. They were only given out in the childhood stuff to get the prize. Like
Yeah.
there's 4 kids in our house,
Go on.
right? And we had to only one of us to get the prize. Like
Is that all?
Yeah, but sure, there's only one prize in
Oh,
the
sure,
box.
I suppose, yeah. Like all I can remember, the most thing I remember is the reflectors used to get. I think they were in Kellogg's
Yes.
for the bike.
Oh my God, Ray,
But
that
there'd be one of them in all the boxes.
That's one.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, but
know,
it
every
wouldn't
week-
take long now for a couple of boxes to come in over a month.
I know, yeah, but you'd still want it the next week, like when
Right.
Mama do the shopping.
So to
you'd want-
take the Kennedys about 3 years to try and get all the bikes dickied up with it.
I can't believe you. I've completely forgot about the reflectors.
Yeah, the reflectors, and then the bowl was another one. I think the bowl was the bowl Kellogg's.
Oh yeah, the bowl. You get
But you'd have to save up the tokens and send them
yeah,
away.
that's right. Oh my God, they were simple times, weren't they?
Very simple times.
Christ above.
I went through, so the Weetabix and cornflakes have been my staple. But now
Start.
in fairness, what is start?
Man, if they
Can you
still make
describe
start, it was like if heaven was real and they put it inside in a cardboard box. That's what I was like by.
But I mean, was it flakes or was it?
No, it was like wholemeal kind of thing.
Right.
But tasty stuff. I'd say she was laced in sugar.
Oh, that's what it was, and so.
But there was a fella cycling a bike. You felt like you could be Mo Farah. He runs after.
I suppose it's a bit like the whole Special K illusion. I'm constantly asking all my nutritionist friends out there.
Full of sugar, I'd say.
No, but like, you know the way go on the Special K diet, what's it about? But I've been informed that the Special K diet was essentially eat 2 bowls of Special K a day.
Yeah.
And then have one other meal. So that was good for Special K distributors because you were eating a sight of Special K, but apparently it's useless. It's nutritionally defunct of any goodness whatsoever.
They used to tell you horse a heap of berries in on top of you.
Yeah, but where would you get berries in Clalla like?
Well, let me tell you.
They wouldn't sell them loose back then.
There definitely wasn't a child man trying that. Did you try that when you were younger?
What buying berries? A diet? No, no. In fairness, the only thing that attracted me to Special K was the fancy looking young one in the red swimming suit on the front of it.
Oh yeah, that's
See, that was the big selling point.
Man, I tell you what, they had it off to a T, that advertising, didn't they?
There was. And what about Frosties? Did you ever have Frosties?
I did. I used to enjoy a Frosty.
Would you ever put a spoonful of sugar on the Frosties?
I'll tell you what. No, the Rice Krispies, you had to put the spoonful of sugar on top.
Yeah, they needed them.
But let me tell you when you didn't need to do it. When you be eating a icicle.
Right.
Do you remember the icicle?
Yeah. This is the bar they brought out.
No, but they had a cereal, like. Do you remember icicles?
No.
Geez, we live different lives.
We're different ages.
I
in
was on
fairness.
start and bicycles, boy. That's what I was built on.
We went through a phase with All Bran. And I tell you, the house never run as regular.
I'll tell you what, I'd say the pipes weren't running regular.
We were eating small amounts of All Bran, but we were going through very large amounts of toilet paper. So I think the mother, after about a year, realised that there was definitely a correlation between the two.
Yeah.
And she kind of said, we might go back to the Weetabix and cornflakes, lads.
She was dead right, all bread. There's some fibre in that bite.
You drink one bowl of it, and that's it. You're gone like 4 times a day.
Oh, stop, yeah, like clockwork, I'd say.
Red raw you'd be.
I was never into any of that healthy stuff.
The
But look
healthy
at me now.
stuff. Look at you now, yeah.
I am the pinnacle of good health.
Well, you're about 3 times smaller than me.
Well, but also the size of me, though,
What are
in
you
terms
eating
of
these
muscle.
days?
What?
What are you eating these? You're muscling me, arse.
You know, it's terrible. Huh?
What? You don't know what the inside of a gym would look like.
I used to go to the gym. Would you believe that I've told you? Look at the size.
When?
Back in the day when I thought that you had to be, a big, strong young
When is the question there now? When was back in the day for you? Were you 12, 14,
fella. No,
16,
when I was about 18.
So when you were 18, you took a notion that you were going to go to the gym.
Yeah, but I've taken that notion like every year since, like.
And you just haven't acted on it.
Well, I'll tell you what would worry me now, and there might be some PTs or nutritionists out there that will tell me, lead me in the right direction. I wanted to gain weight, so I weigh about 65 kg.
Right.
So I looked
What's
up.
that in real money now?
I don't know, actually. About what is it, 10
In stone.
About 10 stone, maybe?
Jeez, that is light
Or
now, in
less
fairness.
even. I don't
And
know,
most of that's in your arse.
Oh, yeah. I have 2 good fine cheeks on me, and each of them are the far side of 8 kg, I'd say.
Yeah.
But,
And I bet you weighed them in a wee bowl as well. You know the way women would weigh their boobs. You sat into a basin of water.
yeah, I don't know. But, I looked up online how you gain weight, especially when you're in the gym, and they told me that to be eating about 5,000 calories.
Go away. Just to gain weight.
A day.
That's double what you'd be supposed to be eating.
But I wouldn't be eating anywhere near 2.5.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to do it. Too
Right.
hard.
So what did you do?
I stopped.
And coming back to the gym bit now, you can't go. What gym did you go to?
I used to go to the gym when I was in UL.
All right.
When we moved to Sligo, myself and Dark used to go to Popeye's.
Oh, Popeye's gym.
Popeye had a gym.
Yeah, that's right.
That was full to the brim with
Sorry.
testosterone. Oh man, no, we did not belong there, let me tell you.
Big lads.
Oh my god.
Big lads.
They would have ate me without salt.
Yeah.
and we were in there trying
I'd
to...
say it was very intimidating.
It was. Well, the gym is an intimidating place for someone who is not used to it, like, you know.
Who's all arse and no arms.
Well, it just is. I don't really, that kind of big man mentality thing. It just doesn't suit me.
Do you know, apparently, it's all the rage now that young fellas aren't into going drinking like we used to do and spending no time in athletics at all. They're all just, it's mad for gym. And that's why now the country is flooded in PTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like some of them are proper PTs, like, and then some of them did a 3-week falls course, got £30 on top of the dole, like. That's the thing. Some of them haven't a clue. Like, we know one of them, like,
I know, but
who is proper.
Yeah.
And she studied in Queen's University in
something
Belfast.
like that. Yeah.
Studied for like 5 years, like.
Yeah, to become a personal trainer.
And still studies.
Yeah.
To teach it.
Yeah.
And she knows her shit.
Yeah, we'll not name her now because she hasn't paid for the advertising. But we're waiting. We know she'll come on board at some point.
She works hard.
No, we'll not. No, we'll wait till she puts the few pound in. But her name is A. Clancy.
Yeah.
No, that's too normal. Aoife C. Call her Aoife C.
Right. So if you can distinguish from that what her name is, then
but we'll not name her.
She's the bomb. I always tell her that she's like my inspiration, even though I don't do any work. We'd be sitting down in your front lounge, right?
Yeah, eating crisps,
eating stuff and drinking tea, and she'll come in at about 6 in the evening, and she'll say, "Yeah, I'm just going to get a bite to eat, like, and I have a spin class at 7." And we'd say, "What time are you up at?" 4:15.
4:15. Because she'd have 4 spin classes done that day.
Yeah.
And one of them was at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, isn't it mental?
Who goes to a spin class at 5? Now, I suppose
They're
people will tell you that a lot of people go at 5 and 6 o'clock. People go before work.
Yeah.
I can't, for the life of me, understand how anyone gets out of bed before they have to.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that, though? We'll say that spin class will be full of boys and young ladies that are up before work. Whereas if I went to her 5 o'clock spin class,
you'd be finished.
I'd be just finishing work and going to a late night one.
You'd be all bleary eyed.
I got home last night from Clarny at about 5:15. I would have missed it. Like, Jesus.
Could just imagine you're running in a little short. I'm so sorry. The traffic was unbelievable coming through Galway.
At 4 in the morning. But anyway, yeah. That's why I spent a little bit of time at the gym, but it just wasn't for me. Like,
no.
But yeah, as you said, young fellas are.
They're mad into it now.
And young women as well are stone mad into gymming.
For the gym. And eating protein.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, I'd have to admit.
Which is good for them, like.
I went through a phase.
Did you?
I did. I went through a phase.
Really? I'm not saying you're a big unit or anything like that.
I know. You wouldn't see it on me, would you?
You weren't built for soft ground or anything like that, but I cannot imagine you sitting inside in the gym.
I went through a serious phase. I was over living in England and I was fierce bored with myself. And I decided, this is it now. Well, actually, I was in a bookstore and I found this diet book. And I said, geez, I'm going to have a look at this. And it was one of them fad carbohydrate giving up diets where you give up all the carbs.
Yeah.
And all you do is you just eat boiled cabbage and bacon.
Right.
And eggs and anything with protein, but no carbohydrates, so no bread, sweets, nothing. And I went at this for about 6 months or 8 months. And all the while I was cycling 3 miles to a gym up a hill. And then I was going to the gym for the hour. And I was doing this 3 or 4 times a week because I was mad into it. And it's funny, you get kind of addicted because you're tick with yourself if you fall out of it at all.
Yeah, and also like working out like that, like it releases all those endorphins and dopamines.
Yeah. Like,
it's almost like doing cocaine, but you don't really get the come down, but you want to feel that again. Genuinely.
I had some dark nights of a Sunday.
With cocaine?
No. Sitting above in the flat in Blackburn in England, right? Just sitting there with the takeaway menu sitting over on the sideboard. Oh, yeah. And after a really, really good week of being very good and eating nothing but boiled bacon and cabbage and no carbohydrates.
Sounds
and
terrible.
The weight falling off me and me depressed and no crack at all. And me looking at the pizza menu from Domino's going, will I? Yeah. I won't. And then I would. And for a day after, I'd be the most depressed man in the world because I broke all the goodness that I had done. I was only 10 and a half stone I was. Yeah. Would you believe it? I'm now 14.
Yeah, but you don't know. I said it before, man. You're not a big unit now.
But then my mother, when she came over to see me, then my mother said, you don't look well at all. Will we get you tested? Because I had dropped that much weight in this foolish diet, like.
Jesus.
She said, we're going to get you over to the hospital. You don't look right at all. I look pure gaunt, she said.
Well, they reckon that diets like that don't work in terms of the fact that you only do it for a while.
Yeah. I stuck it all back on then as soon as I finished.
Like the best you can do is eating regulation, I think, is what
but
they say.
regulation is so hard to do.
But the thing is as well, I do say it to Aoife as well sometimes, like, you know, what would you be eating? Because I do like eating shite now, and I do like stuff that tastes good.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm making this and this and this, and there's fucking rice cakes with hummus in the top of it. I do enjoy hummus, but anyway.
Yeah. Rice cake.
It's any of this healthy
stuff. How can
you
eat rice cakes?
No,
it's cardboard.
I know, but any of this healthy stuff is so not nice. Like, I'd love if Aoife would cook for me every day. Then I get into it, because she cooks well, but I can't be cooking healthy stuff every day. It's rotten. I'm a terrible cook.
Well, Aoife does cook in my house every day. Yeah. And there's meals there provided, and I'm still going down the road of, you're grand, I'm going down getting the pizza, or I'm getting Roberto's. But it's hard to try and stick to the old goodness.
She is some woman, boy.
Aye, but she has her cheat days as well, but I'll say nothing about that.
Nothing. Yep. Yeah, but you're allowed no cheat day.
I suppose you're allowed a cheat day, yeah. Every day is an early cheat day. I can't go through a day without eating 3 bars of chocolate.
Yeah.
And like to a point where it's almost like when people smoke. If I'm up in the morning by 12 o'clock, if I haven't had a Kit Kat or a purple snack or at least a Freddo, I'm going to be bothered. I'm going to be thick.
Yeah, go away, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of an affiliation with chocolate now. Crisps. Christ almighty crisps. I'd eat crisps all day long.
All day.
Tejo. I would.
I'd be doing well to eat 1 bag.
Oh, jeez, no. We're different men, me and you, Raybo.
But what about, can you drink a cup of tea without a biscuit?
Me mammy just say that too. I'll just get something to have with the tea.
Yeah, of course. But can you drink a cup of tea without it?
I drink a cup of tea dry the whole time.
Get away.
You do need the chocolates.
I can't drink. If someone offered me a cup of tea without a biscuit, I'd be highly offended.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd be highly offended because it doesn't. I don't understand what should be. What are you watching? If you've nothing to wash down, what are you drinking tea for? Like, sure. If I was thirsty, I'd drink a glass of water. Like.
I mean, a biscuit now is nice with tea. Tis nice with tea, like, but I wouldn't be going looking for it all the same the whole time now.
Yeah. And there are people like that, and you go visiting, and they wouldn't offer you. They wouldn't offer you a biscuit. And you're kind of sitting there, or especially me with that very polar view that a cup of tea is naked without a biscuit or a bar. And I'm kind of sitting there going, "Are you messing? Am I going to start drinking this tea without anything?"
Well, actually, I went over to a friend of ours' house, a fantastic musician here in Sligo, but we won't mention his name just in case. Anyway, went over to his house last week to pick something up, and he said, "You coming in for tea?" I says, "I am."
Right.
And he made the tea.
Are you going to name and shame here now?
No, I'm not going to name shame him. No.
Okay.
He made the tea.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm not sure if we have any biscuits." And he said he went around looking for some. He said, "I think there might be some in the fridge here." And he says, he gave them to me, and he said, "Sorry, no." He said, "They're anti-waistline biscuits."
They weren't the rich teas, were they?
No, they were Nice. You know Nice?
Oh, they're not so bad. Nice, I call them. Nice biscuits.
Well, I just thought it was cool. He called them anti-waistline biscuits.
Or like Sean gets, the poverty biscuits, which are digestives.
Welfare biscuits. No, don't be going on about digestives though. A chocolate digestive.
Chocolate digestive is fine once it's chocolate on it.
Yeah, but you get them for about 29p below an Aldi.
But Sean buys the Aldi rich tea or the, what's the other one? The really bottom of the line digestive biscuit. And he'd have packets of that above in the press, and I'm not touched from one year to the other because he keeps eating my biscuits.
We want to help that man out, man. Give him a few pounds to pour all this. We never opened the beer.
The beer's here now. Lovely. Today we're going to be drinking a Dublin Red. Mark will be drinking a Dublin Red. Lovely. It is a great tasting pale ale. There, it says it on the front of the bottle.
Well, why is it called Dublin Red if it's pale ale? Is it pale or is it red?
I presume it's red.
We'll soon but sure, it says pale.
Anyway,
it looks good anyway. There's a fine young one in the front, a Marilyn Monroe type buzz.
Yeah, they didn't pay much for that. And then I've got a Dublin Blonde.
Oh, you have the blonde again. You're mad for the blondes.
I love the blondes. Say nothing.
And you have a brunette missus.
Thank you very much now.
Just shows you. Ray, sláinte.
Sláinte. Lovely.
We'll have a taste of this now.
Oh, that's very nice. And that's brewed in Irish Town.
That is nice.
That's
actually.
Dublin. That's a Dublin thing there now.
Finished. Oh no, sorry.
She's not gluten free this week anyway.
An approachable session style pale ale.
Approachable.
Tis very approachable now. I kind of approached it from the side there now. Just, tis beautiful that, Ray. Fair play to you.
Did you ever find that, the Irish colloquialisms, like approachable?
Aye.
You wouldn't hear that, and I suppose you wouldn't hear that in England at all much.
He's very approachable.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a kind of a nice term that you'd hear in Ireland.
Well, we do have a lot of terms.
Do you ever notice the plural, the Irish plurals?
Yeah.
Like a scatter.
Yeah.
Or a pile.
Yeah.
Of something. Like a pile of washing. A heap of pints.
Yeah.
What else is there then? Scatter pile. If you're sick, you could be riddled with something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. She's riddled. Yeah.
But it's mad the way we come up with our own little ways of kind of doing it.
Everyone gets it, boy.
Yeah. But if you said that in another country now, geez, I'm going for a heap of pints.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't be.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be understood at all.
I heard a story one time of
a dose is another
a
one.
fella who said he was going off hurling. And he said it to someone in New York and they thought he was gone puking.
Imagine a sport about a sport of vomiting.
Yeah, puking.
Yeah. What are you playing today, hurling?
And on another note as well, I saw the most amazing video on Instagram of an old friend I used to have. Doc, to call him, back in college. He's a serious hurler, you know.
Right.
And he was hurling in the middle of New York off one of those famous basketball courts.
Right.
And he was poking a ball against the wall.
Yeah.
With his clear jersey on him, while all the New Yorkers were playing basketball in behind him.
He was just practicing, was he?
Yeah.
Right.
I just thought, isn't that unbelievable? Like, a fella from Clare and he poking a ball against the wall in the middle of New York, while the boys are playing in one of the most famous courts in the world behind him, probably.
That's true, yeah. But it's definitely something you bring with you.
For sure. There isn't a hurler in this country doesn't go abroad and not bring the stick with him.
No.
They all do it.
No, they do it.
They do it. so do.
They do it. Speaking of a minute, what do you make of young Trump meeting young Kim?
Kim Jong-Kennedy.
Kim Jong. Didn't they do very well?
Well, apparently, from what I heard on it, that they didn't really come to any agreement, really. Like
they came to enough of one. I think you're all right. Well,
they just shook hands, had tea.
They shook hands, had tea. And
digestive.
They gave out some of the things that were on the menu, something about prawns. And I think they had some Haagen-Dazs. Very fancy, you know. That's the when you're a big event when you bring out the Haagen-Dazs.
Jeez, the Haagen-Dazs was out.
Like they could have really upped the game now and brought out a slice of Viennetta.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man. Of a Saturday evening, and Gladiators would be on the television.
What are you on about a Saturday evening? You wouldn't have ice cream on a Saturday evening. It'd be a Sunday thing.
On a Saturday evening, we used to have ice cream, Ray, after the bath. I'd go in and I'd have a bath.
Sorry, I have an old picture of you at age 15 or something getting your bath.
This is last week. No. When I was young, that's what we used to do. On a Saturday evening, we'd have a bath and we'd put on Gladiators. Do you remember Gladiators?
No, that was behind. That was after my time.
You didn't watch Gladiators?
No.
With Wolf.
We had only through two channels to start with. We had RT1 and Network 2.
Yeah.
And then they brought out the Irish one, TG4.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't worth the shite. I couldn't understand what they were saying. And then TV3 came out. Yeah. And that's essentially all I had till I was 22.
And look at it now, boy.
It's unbelievable.
Isn't it?
Yeah. You said a bit about bats.
I used to have a bath on a Saturday night. Oh. And while I'd be watching Gladiators, Mum and I either have a Viennetta or a lump, the pint. You know, the pint of ice cream. You know, that you chop it up and you put it in between two wafers.
What do you call them?
Any HB.
HB, yeah. The block.
Block of ice cream. And I'd be eating that and she'd be brushing me hair while I was watching Gladiators. Eating that ice cream.
Would you ever wonder what kind of weirdo buys banana blocks? There's banana flavoured.
Yeah. But that's funny coming from you now.
I know. I love bananas.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand how they make banana flavoured ice cream.
Yeah.
And only a couple of weeks ago I was home and the mother was weeding out the bit of tart. And the bit of custard.
Aye.
And then she says, and with pure shame, she takes out this block ice cream out of the fridge and she goes, all I have is banana.
Oh, Lord.
When my father's face dropped.
You're going to get divorced.
Yeah, it was tough times, like.
It's the final straw now, Carmel.
That is bad. But getting back to bats, because I'm kind of just spurred something in me there now.
Go on. Yeah.
We didn't get a shower. We had a shower in our house from day dot. It was in the ensuite off the mother and father's room. But it was useless. Yeah.
Jeez, I tell you
it was useless, so it was. It didn't work. It never worked.
Okay.
So it was one of them, it was just another bathroom, essentially.
Uh-huh.
But we had a bath in the bathroom. We didn't have a shower in the bathroom, in the main bathroom. But I don't think we got an actual shower into our house until I think I was 17 when we got our first. So that I'm just after realising that my main way of washing was baths up to 17.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
But Ray, I'm not far behind you. I'd say I wasn't 14 or 15 till we got a proper shower head put into the house.
Yeah.
You should just have a bath.
That's it. But no one has baths now.
No.
No one has
no one has an Irish bath where they scald the water up and you hop in and you shampoo your hair with a bucket, right? The only baths that people are having now is when they're in a hotel and they take
fancy
out the
bath
phone for Instagram and they're throwing a bath bomb into it and it explodes and there's fucking pink and purple and all kinds of colours inside the yolk and candles all around it. They won't have a bath another way.
There's no such, You'd go in and you'd go in and it'd be scalding because there'd be no tepid at all.
Yeah.
And it'd be scalding and you'd have the fancy, whatever you call the stuff. I can't remember the stuff that you used to put into it.
Radox.
Radox.
You.
That's it. You should put the Radox in a goodly amount.
Yeah.
Get it goods and sudsy.
Yeah.
And then by the time you finish in the bath, all the suds will be gone.
Yeah. And the second you hopped into that bath, the outfit will be out turning off the immersion because the water's done. And I think that's a myth. Did someone say that's a myth? Like, you can leave your immersion on.
I heard stories of people that all the people in the house, there'd be 2 or 3 siblings that'd get the bath.
Aye.
You know, in the same water.
Yeah? Oh, it used to happen to be saving on water.
Well, like, they wouldn't take it all together, but they'd be like, you go in there now.
Yeah. Is that still hot?
Yeah, is that still hot?
Okay,
Yeah, I'll get in there now. Thanks very much. But you take that whole bath thing now. Imagine if it hasn't changed 2 showers. And imagine, but didn't never mind that. But sure, say for example, I was a couple of years older or a couple of years younger getting born.
Yeah.
And I was 21 and there was a couple of the boys over the house and said, we'd be out having the crack for the day, you know, up in the farm, whatnot, Blackgarden, and then come down and me and the boys, ma'am, we're just going to take a bath and then we'll be ready for the night out. Could you imagine 3 or 4 of the boys taking baths one by one in your home house?
Because a bath is a relaxing thing.
Yeah, but it takes a good 20 minutes to half an hour to get through the whole lot.
And then you have to fill it up again then afterwards.
Mad that they're gone.
I know. And it's all electric showers now, Ray, and electric razors and Jesus, everyone's groomed in the whole lot.
Yeah, yeah. And they're noisy.
Oh, they're a noisy yoke, is right.
They're noisy yoke.
And I'll tell you, if you turn the 2 of them on in this house at the same time, you'll be blowing fuses. It will trip the power upstairs if you turn the 2.
It does not.
Like, when we moved in here, we said, that's great now, 2 electric showers, because we'd be playing football every Wednesday evening before the White Gorillas gig.
Yeah.
There'd be about 5 lads back in this house after the match.
Yeah.
Sure, it's grand, lads. We have 2 showers. We'd be in and out in a half hour.
But imagine if you just one bath.
I know.
You'd all be using the same water.
When we're all the same at the same time, washing each other. Do you know?
Oh, stop.
Oh, Lord above.
That's good crack now. Did you hear about Love Island?
I heard a young one gone.
Well, no, I watched it. Yeah, there was that, but I watched it last night and they all went for a picnic.
Right.
Well, or a couple of them went for picnics, but you never guess where they put the picnics.
Where?
In a freshly cut silage field and them surrounded by round bales.
And the smelliest, I'd say.
Well, it was round bales of hay, like.
Ray, I can't just go over me head. When does silage become hay? When does grass become silage and then silage become hay? Can you explain that to me?
Oh, I'm putting the spot now, so I am.
Like, is it grass?
Oh no, I have it. Right, if you fresh cut, when you cut the grass straight away, right?
Yeah.
You give it maybe a day or 2,
Right.
and then you can make silage out of it.
But how do you make silage? You put something into it?
No, the making, the transference from a big load of grass in paper wrapping oh jeez, I'm getting confused.
So you wrap the grass.
You wrap the grass in what do you call the stuff?
Bags.
Black bags. Yeah, it's actually a big bag.
So it looks like to me like a black bag.
Yeah, an extra strong refuse sack.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
And then it's there and then you bring the big black bag full of grass back to the farm, back to the farmyard, and you stick it there. And it sits there from, we'll say, June the 6th till what time, maybe the cattle go in round about, the end of October, middle of November when it gets cold. Right. So the cattle are going into the shed now and you need to feed them. Yeah. But the grass has been sitting in the black bag since the 6th of June. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine what state the grass is in at this point. Because when you cut lawns and you throw the grass up the back of the house.
Just go all yellow.
And you think, but you think it'll be grand and then eventually it starts piling up and smelling.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what silage is.
Is that where the smell comes from?
That's where yeah, exactly.
Because I drove to Killarney.
It's fermented grass.
Yeah, I drove to Killarney and 4 hours I was in the car. I didn't stop smelling silage the whole way down.
You weren't smelling silage. You were just smelling cut grass.
I don't know. I'm going to ask Trevor about this.
But then the hay.
Trevor we'll have to get
this. Trevor what? Coughlin, is it?
Yeah, agricultural correspondent.
We're going to have to get our agricultural correspondence information. Yeah. But then hay is different. Hay and straw is different. As in you cut the grass, but you leave it sit there for a few days. Good drying weather, and the grass dries out, and then you wrap it, kind of with a loose kind of a mesh. You don't put it in a black bag.
Oh, right.
And then you put it back in the shed, and then it dries out over time, so it's dried grass.
Right.
But yeah.
And that's why it's yellow.
That's the difference, yeah. And then in Love Island last night, they went for picnics up inside in a freshly cut hayfield.
Did they?
Or straw field. It could be one or the other.
In England, obviously. No, where is Love Island?
No, they're below. I think they're below in Barbados or Zagreb or somewhere.
You said Croatia.
I could be Croatia. I don't know where. I could be Spain. I think they're in Spain.
I don't follow it at all. But I seen.
You'll have to get into it, lad.
I seen a heap of memes as to what people look like. They all look like different cartoon characters. They reckon or something. I don't know.
Do they?
Well, that's all I fucking seen. I didn't see anything else from it. Like.
There's one lad in it. Dr. Alex, they call him.
Oh, he's
He's
heard
the
that.
doctor.
Yeah.
Jesus, I feel sorry for him.
Why?
He's so nice.
Out of his depth.
He's way out of his depth. He keeps going on, the one-on-one camera thing.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying things like, "Oh, yeah, I really, really think this is going to be my moment now. I'm going to, I'm going to crack on with this new girl, and things are going to really take off for me here in the villa because I feel like I haven't had a real chance to really show people how I am, and I don't know how much more I can take of this." And you're kind of sitting at home going, "Jeez, you signed up for the wrong television
Yeah, because
show."
it changes every day.
Oh, stop! You want big, brash kind of personalities.
Aren't you sitting with a different young one every night? Like,
not necessarily. No, you kind of stick wherever you can hold, but you have to catch one first. Like, you have to get him with a girl first.
Is there a chick called? Is it Ruth? Is she the new one that came into it?
Oh no, there's a new one called
Rose. Ruth.
Megan. Oh, hold on now.
No, who was the new
Rosie?
one?
There's a Rosie in it.
She came in last
Rosie
week.
and Georgia came into it. Yeah. Now Georgia she's class. She's a feisty young one.
Right.
She kind of does song and dance stuff.
Right.
And she's class.
Right.
And your one Rosie is a solicitor.
I heard that.
And she's doing well for herself as well.
Apparently the face is pure plastic, is it?
Oh, she's the lips done. Oh, she definitely got the lips done.
But what about the rest of it?
The rest of it, jeez, I wouldn't be gone now with her arse or anything like that.
No, but I mean the rest of her jaw.
Your jaw's fine. It looks
And all
fine.
the cheeks
Just the
and
lips. The lips.
Just the lips.
Just the lips look like they're well
Some
done.
of them go way too fucking far.
Oh, they do,
with that
yeah.
stuff.
In fairness now.
Have you seen the young ones from Geordie Shore lately? They don't look like them.
No.
I thought they're like different people.
They are, in fairness. It's like Face Off.
It's unbelievable. Like how far is it going to go? Like,
But
what's your one's name? Holly Hagan.
Oh, couldn't tell you now.
Eventually,
I know
her face is just going to explode.
But I don't understand how they don't look at previous photos of themselves and go,
Ooh, yeah.
like, what's after happening here?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's like
But do you think it's like when you're drawing a picture and you think you have it?
Yeah.
And you keep at it and you make shite of it.
Or in Father Ted when he's dinging out the ding in the car.
Yeah.
Just one more tap.
Yeah. So I don't think it's that uncommon. I just think it happens. It's just when you wet your face,
Yeah.
you do think one more operation will fix it.
Yeah.
Or one more bit of filler.
Well, yeah.
And
Yeah, probably. I'm just so blessed. I know you're looking at me saying there must be plastic surgery. Like, there isn't, like. And I know you're looking below and you're thinking that's been enhanced. It hasn't, Ray.
You're what God gave you.
That's what he gave me, like.
Yeah. Yeah, and not a bit of gym work in it.
Says I to the doctor last week. I went in with a problem with the young fella, like.
Go on.
I thought that there was something growing on it.
Right.
I thought it looked cancerous, like.
Yeah.
Says he to me, don't worry, it looks benign. I said, benign, 9.5 maybe.
Oh, you can't make a good joke, huh?
That's no joke, but let me tell you.
That's true.
And I said, I'm being liberal with the 9.5, says I to him.
I have a question for you.
See, the far side of 12. Go on.
When did you start being stylish?
When did I start being stylish?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I remember meeting you first a good 7 or 8 years ago, and I don't think you were stylish at the time.
Maybe not.
And I've seen photos of you when you were like a couple of years even back. But you've gone quite stylish now.
But I don't know if I have gone stylish. I'm only wearing, like right now, I'm only wearing no t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah, but the jean, hold on a
I've actually
second
been
now.
pat, genuinely. I used
T-shirt and
to,
jean.
I was into skinny jeans, we'll say, before they were big, we'll say.
Right.
And I used to get laughed at. Look at the book. Everyone's wearing skinny jeans now.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
was
getting
into
skinnier.
flares, but they've gone out at the minute.
Yeah, but you're
And
waiting for them to come back.
I have 8 pairs of Savage flares sitting at home in Killala waiting to come back.
This is going back to your tailoring and how you won't throw stuff out and stuff. You got a pair of your jeans customized years ago. And you asked your man for a 12-inch flare and he put it on
It was an 11.5-inch flare. She was coming in and it was a 9-inch flare.
You want 2.5 extra inches.
I know.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do, Raybo, you know?
No, it was a 9-inch flare and I wanted 1.5 inch because I knew it wasn't sitting right over the shoe. Because I used to wear big DC shoes.
Yeah.
They were the big
I still
thick
remember
looking
them,
ones.
like,
Yeah, and it just wasn't sitting right over. It was kind of crumpling. And I said, I wonder is there a way I could get... And now, in fairness, it looked like the gammiest thing that was ever put together. Because it was clearly an extra bit of jean. But
It's like the time back in school. Do you remember... when you used to cut a slit up the side of your shoe, or up the side of your jeans would go over your shoe.
Yeah,
I mean,
you'd have to do that.
You know, it's mad. Like, but that'll all come back around again. Like,
and you know the worst thing is as well in school now. This might be only me that suffered from this.
Probably.
But in school, speaking of cuts up the side, there was a great punishment in our school bus where one of the lads is sitting beside you, and he just smiled at you as if nothing was wrong.
The pocket.
And he'd rip the pocket.
I knew it. Yeah, that was, man, that went all the way across this country.
And one tear, it'd meet the other tear then, because he'd rip the two sides out of the trouser, and he'd be walking around with like a fancy 70s skirt.
Oh, it was awful. Let me tell you a right good one, actually. When I was in school, and I was about I was probably, I would say, 15.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been doing my junior cert. New fella came to school from Wales, Jamie Jones. He's a good friend of mine now still. He hung around with us anyway straight away.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call it bullying, like, because it wasn't. It was just young fellas being young fellas. But he stood out.
It's called bullying now, you know.
I know it's called bullying now, but he wouldn't
everything that happened to us, that's now called bullying and abuse.
But let me tell you couldn't bully this man. Right. Look him up on Facebook, lads.
Right.
Look up Jamie Jones Cassery and tell me if you could bully that. He is
probably
the size
now.
of a house.
But before?
No, he was still the size of a house then as well. So
and
he was intimidating.
Right.
So for the big lads in school, he was intimidating anyway. And they looked down saying, look at the fella from Wales, whatever. He was in Castlereagh, like in Roscommon, coming in with a foreign accent. Anyway, he used to get whatever, people messing with him and stuff. So our group used to get hit as well. And there was another young friend of mine, Thomas Flynn.
Right.
And he got tackled by the older boys.
Right.
One day outside the gymnasium.
Thomas did.
Right.
So he's a friend of yours, got tackled by the older boys.
I think it might have been Jamie too. I think it might have been Auntie Jamie.
Right, the two boys.
And they were messing with him, trying to rip his jocks off him,
Yeah. Oh, he was going to be jocked.
He was going to be jocked.
Oh.
They were trying to wedge him, like,
I know, yeah.
So I ran in and tackled one of the boys, like an Aegis.
You did?
I did. Now,
brave.
Let me tell you something. Twas brave now.
You had brothers, though.
Now, there was a film made about it. Like, no, there was no brothers in the school at the time, I'd say. I don't think. There was no brothers in the school at the time. I think I might have been 16, genuinely.
So the brothers were gone?
They were gone. They would have been gone anyway.
Yeah, because you can't be brave if you don't have brothers.
No, I didn't have no brothers. I was just brave. There's a film made about this. There's good music behind it. I run the whole way across. Tears in my eyes. No, anyway, I ran out.
Don't worry, Tommy, I'm coming.
Yeah,
don't worry, Tommy.
But it's all... We used to go to Portugal and Spain every year.
How does this apply to the story?
I'm telling you, there's a crossroads. She's going to meet lads in the middle now. Right. We used to go to the markets and I used to buy the fake Calvin Klein jocks.
Right.
They were made out of nothing.
Jesus, you were so advanced for your age.
I know. I used to buy the fake Calvin Kleins. I ran in and tackled the fella that had tackled Thomas Flynn. Yeah. And they said, lovely, here's a new target now.
Oh, no, right.
And one of them went to wedgie me. And, when... you rip a plastic bag and it just disintegrates in your hand. He ripped the jocks off me. It didn't hurt, because they just ripped straight off me. And he was standing there with my jocks
like a
in his hand.
With a little bit of Velcro on the bottom.
Yeah, it just completely disintegrated inside his hand. It was all about ripping stuff when you were younger, wasn't it? You rip pants, you rip jocks.
Right now, I avoided getting jocked, like the plague.
Yeah,
I did.
Oh yeah,
I did. No, I avoided because when I started in secondary school, jocking was the most tremendously horrifying and scary thing that could possibly befall you.
It was the business.
It was the business. Jocking, taking the underpants from a young man through by force was the way to terrify. And when I started below in Crossmalina, I knew that was the case. And I had no brothers or sisters or nothing to mind me.
Aye.
So I spent 5 solid years in that school, not being anywhere near jocking was taking place. So I spent many's a lunch break down the other end of the school. I stayed away from trouble. Yeah. I stayed out of the way. I kept my head down. If there was a bunch of lads hanging out by the office, I wouldn't be in the office. Yeah. I'd be somewhere else.
But let me tell you something, Ray. Trouble will find you.
Trouble did find me. But I knew it was going to find me because I knew that I wouldn't get out the door of the bus the last night without getting got, because I knew they were keeping some class from the count.
What do you mean the last night?
The last day of school. I was coming up. I'm a leaving cert at this stage.
Right.
And I know
unjocked.
Unjocked leavings. I'm a virgin at this point. In every respect at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm getting off. I knew that this was my last day at school. So I did well for the day, but now I knew that I wouldn't get past the bus that evening because they were going to figure it out. That Ray hadn't got jocked.
We never jocked began through that.
No, never got jocked. No, and that's the thing. But I knew. So the night before the last day, I got
I know this. This is class. Okay.
I got a pair of small little squirt guns. You know the little toy squirt guns you get.
Not the syringes now.
No. I had gotten bigger. I got bigger and better and bolder now than syringes. So then I got me little squirt guns and I filled them 3/4 with water and I got the TCP out of my mother's medicine press.
The perfect formula, 3/4 water.
Because I knew how dangerous TCP is. So 3/4 water, 1/4 TCP. Shook it up and left them in the front pocket of the bag. I said, I'm not taking no chances tomorrow. If they come at me tomorrow, I'll be ready. because I'd done so well up to this. And then the day came and I got through most of the day. A lot of fellas got on the day. A lot of good lads were taken down.
Yeah,
They were
Lord rest
a lot of girls got.
Oh no.
Do you know, there was no regard for anyone because it's the last day of school.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like all the teachers stepped out for a pint and let us at it.
They probably did.
You know, all that was left was the few nuns, and they were old and they weren't fit to keep
Even
everything.
the nuns got jocked. It was bad though.
Sister Vanula got jocked. Wasn't very pleasant, but anyway.
Well, I know she was wearing nothing.
I got on the bus anyway, but I knew I wouldn't get off the bus without something happening. So as the leaving cert, I'm sitting in the back seat, and I was sitting right in the middle of the back seat with my bag on my lap. Because you got to keep an eye on the bag as well, because the bag can turn us under too. I was attached to the bag at this stage. I'd done 5 years.
You're still attached to the bag, then.
So the boys are all chatting. The fifth years, which would be the leaving certs, and the fourth years would be not TYs. That's not a real year.
Yeah.
The fourth years were the ones below leaving cert, and all the boys are sitting on the back seat, and they're going through in their heads. Have we got everybody? And everybody's kind of going, Jesus, yeah, you've been got, and one of the boys, we'll call him. Well, Mickey said, I've been got, and another lad there, you know, Joxer said, I've been got, and everybody's been happy enough. And then they go, do you know we haven't got McAndrew? And I'm smiling there, knowing this was coming, and I look up my watch and look where we are on the route, and I know I've maybe got 10 minutes. So I held them off with chat and crack. Lads, now there's no point getting me now, like. So I'm nearly there. So isn't it great to say that I got the 5 years of getting job? Yeah. And there was a bit of debate and crack because they were enjoying it too, and they knew they didn't have to get me till just before the house.
They were tied with you.
They didn't mind the 8 minutes of suspense.
They were tied with you, boy.
It was good for them, and I'm sitting there, and I'm slowly putting hands into the front pocket of the bag. And then all of a sudden, one of the younger lads in the fourth year, they get up, and he's followed by 2 or 3 other lads, because the leaving certs wouldn't have gone for it first. They were going to take the glory, but they wanted the fourth years to take me down.
Yeah.
So as soon as the boys got up to it, and I pull out the 2 squirt guns, and I knocked 2 of them out straight away. 2 fine eye shots, and them lying down on the floor of the bus in agony, clutching their eyes, going, Anyway, the leaving certs then are looking at this. Now, the fourth years kind of are a bit back at this stage. They're kind of going, we're not getting involved. Yeah. They're trying to figure out what went wrong.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
So a couple of the bigger lads from leaving cert then got involved. Now, I got a few side shots, but at that point I started advancing backwards up the aisle of the bus with the 2 guns in my hands like Clint Eastwood, firing away at random and hoping to God that I wouldn't run out of stuff. Because the last thing you want is to be stood there halfway down and the third years are taking ocean and they go, now's our time to shine, lads. You didn't want third years getting you in your last day.
No, that's an embarrassment.
No, that's an embarrassment to any man. So I got as far as Joe, who drove the bus, and Joe and it was a beautiful moment between me and Joe. I was holding the 2 guns up, almost out ammo. All you could hear was the squeals and the whines from the back of the bus, and Joe just looks at me and he just gives me that look, that kind of fair play to you, Ray. And I says, thanks, Joe.
And you got off the bus.
I got off the bus, didn't get jogged.
Jesus, that's lethal though.
But telling the story in this regard now obviously opens things up to reprisal jockage. So I could find myself down in Crossmolina some night now, and a couple of 30-somethings might come upon me, and me thinking I'm getting assaulted. No, they're only just here to set things right.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't have got away with it, boy. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're running from the law too long.
Crack.
That seems to be.
What time are we at now?
It's 5 to 8.
Jeez, we did well.
Yeah, we're
about to wrap it up shortly.
We're wrapping up shortly.
Can I tell you something?
Go on.
I'm finding it very unnerving, because people listening to this are coming up to me and they're starting into conversation with things like, and them waving roads. You're dead right.
Yeah.
But for a minute, I have to think to myself: have I talked to you about this, or is it a case that you've listened to it on the podcast?
Yeah.
So it's a real awkward moment where people start up bits of the conversation that me and you were having with me in a personal capacity. Like even this evening about I got the t-shirts for the video, the cat t-shirts. Yeah, nothing worse than a ginger in the bushes. We'll be giving a pair of t-shirts
They're
away.
They're going to be sold out in no time, lads.
Only 10 of them.
There's a massive 10 t-shirts.
And the large is very big as well. I have to say the large is large, like it's wide.
Is there a small for Kendi?
There is a small for Kendi. Yeah. But as long as I don't give it away on Facebook.
Don't.
But as I said, even this evening now, I met a young man. You're not fond of him, Noel Kennedy Jr. And
whatever.
He says to me, he says, Jesus, you should get more t-shirts done up. And I kind of looked at him and went, I wasn't talking to you about t-shirts. I didn't even tell you that I was getting them. And then I realised from the last podcast.
He had listened.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing about this. We're not talking any different than we would be talking to each other or anybody else anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Fairness
sit down, hit play.
It's like having Ray and Kendi in your living room or your car with you for the bit of a journey.
Now, before we do wrap up, Ray, a couple of matters arising.
From last
we were on about video, and we're still trying to work out the kinks of how to do it properly, where to do it, how to keep it authentic.
We had to go with it on Sunday.
On Sunday. We ran into a couple of speed bumps, but you live and learn in this stuff. So we're still trying to learn. This one will be up on YouTube, obviously. Make sure that you're listening back to the first two as well if you haven't listened to them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you find it on, what are the things, Ray? Apple Podcasts.
Anything that does podcasts.
Podcast Republic. All of them. If it's not on your one, message us and let us know where it's not.
And we'll ring them up or send them a strongly worded letter and say, do they not realise what they're missing out on?
Have you any idea who we think we are? So it's on all them, and it is on YouTube as well. Tell all your friends, subscribe.
Oh, and
send us in stuff, because it seems Ray, I'm getting a wondrous amount of childhood stories sent into me.
Yeah, actually no harm.
It's massive. Childhood stories, lad. That's the way to go. The stuff you used to get up to, like them stories there now that we just told.
Yeah,
there's 100. I've gotten loads of people sending me in stuff.
Yeah, and if you send them in to us, we'll make them out to be our own.
No, you decide if you want to get
We'll tell them, like, all the stuff we've used this evening, that's all stuff that we got this week.
Yeah. Even if you're female, we'll decide they're our own. Like.
Yeah, we'll tell any girl stories.
Well, I remember when I shifted my first fella,
Won't be hard to spot them.
Oh, Lord above. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's probably it, Ray, is it?
It is, that's it.
So, episode 3. That's it.
3, thank God
Done
for that.
And dusted.
That was the difficult third episode.
Ray, we can't finish it. We finished the bottles. I'm only halfway through it.
Sure, we can do that when we're taking down the gear.
Will you come out of it?
Yeah. I'm delighted to be back in the box room anyway.
Yeah.
Unknowns to Kendi.
Yeah. That's it. Fair play to me.
Fair play to you. Fair play to me.
Fair play to everyone. We'll see you all.
See you all
Good
again.
luck.